He says because Stephen killed a member of his family, he'd now have to kill a member of his own family to balance it out. Martin tells Stephen that if he doesn't, his family will all die the same way. First, by losing the use of their legs. Second, by refusing to eat to the point of starvation. Third, they'll start to bleed from their eyes. After that, it will be mere hours until they die. We see security escorting Martin out of the hospital after that. Stephen goes to see Bob and asks him to eat some of his favorite donuts that Anna has brought for him. Sure enough, he refuses to eat. Later, we see Kim at a choir practice, where she collapses during a rehearsal of Carol of the Bells. She ends up in the hospital in the same room as Bob. She too refuses to eat. The hospital continues to run tests on the two of them, and determine that according to the tests, there's nothing wrong with them. Stephen tells Anna about what Martin told him. She asks him if he had been drinking the day that he operated on Martin's father. He says it's possible, but a death on an operating table is never the surgeon's fault, it's always due to a mistake by the anesthesiologist. Anna meets with the anesthesiologist, and he says he remembers Stephen having 2 drinks the morning before operating on Martin's father. He says, when someone dies, it's never his fault, but the fault of the surgeon. A day or 2 later, Anna is at the hospital with her children when Kim gets a phone call from Martin. He tells her to stand up and come to the window so she can see him in the parking lot. All of a sudden, she's able to stand up, and she goes to the window but doesn't see him. She starts going back to her bed, and her legs stop working again the second she hangs up the phone. A decision is made to have the children come home instead of having to stay in the hospital. Anna goes to see Martin. He tells her that he thinks Stephen killed his dad, and Anna asks why she and her children have to pay for Stephen's mistake. He doesn't answer but says that ever since his dad died Stephen has been flirting with his mother and that he thinks they would be perfect for each other. With the children home, we find out that they know about the decision Stephen must make, and they all start trying to flatter him to avoid having to die. Bob cuts his hair himself and says he wants to be a cardiologist. Later, Stephen takes Anna down to the basement where he has Martin taped to a chair with cuts and bruises all over his face. He beats Martin to try to get him to make it stop.